Hey, it's so good to see you. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Inner Universe Healing. I am your host, Jessica, and what we will be talking about today is the gene keys. Gene keys, gene keys, gene keys. Sometimes the gene keys will not have you jumping around. Sometimes the gene keys might make you feel a little more serious. Contemplative, inquisitive. The gene keys is a living wisdom deep within your very self. And it comes in different flavors via frequency. There is a philosophy behind the gene keys being a living wisdom, and that which lives in your cell and in your genetic imprint, if you will. It has different expressions or different frequencies that it can be expressed. That being the shadow. Everybody talks about the shadow. Everyone likes to point fingers at the shadow. But look how many fingers are pointing back at me. Our shadows talk to one another often, right? If someone's in their shadows and you're like, rah, 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 guess what? You're in the shadow too. We're all too familiar with the shadow. So, boring. I want to know, well, what are the other frequencies of, what that expression could be? And what is the gift? What is the gift? Shadow is the raw, form of that expression, that genetic expression. But under the right conditions, it starts to sprout and grow into the gift frequency of what that raw material was and is now transforming, right? Higher states of consciousness, we enter into the cities. And what is the citic state of that raw material form? That can then, bear fruit and bestow the world with its gifts and talents and wisdom and just energy and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what makes you so, what makes the mundane extraordinary? What makes your average Joe extraordinary? Because we are all unique, and how we express those is completely up to us. And so the Gene Keys invites us into the art of contemplation, right? And self-accountability. That's where it starts to not feel as pleasant. Because lo and behold, sometimes you put those mazes there for you to learn from. And you put those specific people in your life for a reason. You can take ownership of your life a lot more than you otherwise could. And for some people, this is too much. And Gene Keys, no, this is not for me. But for others, yes, it is for me. And I am curious about it. And it is something that cannot be rushed. You cannot rush the Gene Keys. You cannot intellectualize the Gene Keys. It's something that you have to feel. It is a lived experience. And you can, read up on the Gene Keys all you want. There is a lot of gold in doing that, in exposing yourself to the Gene Keys, because then it will unlock, wisdom within you. But intellectualizing it just to soak up the material, just cause, to advance, I guess. There is no advancement. It's you just live your experience. It's a lot of it is making your life extraordinary, amongst the ordinary. It is a wake-up call in some senses, that certain themes in your life you're kind of like destined to experience on some level, and it challenges us, challenges you, challenges me to live our lives in relationship with others. So other philosophies and forms of thought, there's a lot of separation and division, in order to grow. Well, with the gene keys, it will challenge you in the Venus sequence to live your life amongst relationships and intermingling with others. That doesn't mean sleep with one another. It means, like getting to know somebody, their quirks, and even, navigating certain, emotional turmoils with another human being. It's part of this human experience where we have big feelings sometimes. And I'm not the only one. You who's watching this might know. So yeah, the gene keys are definitely one of the many tools that I have gained in this healing journey that I actually highly encourage everyone who is on this healing journey to explore. I highly encourage you to explore the gene keys, whether that is doing a chart reading with me or going through the several levels online yourself. Completely up to you. I'm open to either one. I love the gene keys. So much for personal growth and wellness and all of those things. So yeah, and other things to know. How does a gene keys reading, like how does the chart look like? Well, it looks like this. Well, it's got little dots on it, and they all mean different things. It's got different numbers, and it's got a point, and it's got a line. So the line is its own specific flavor of that gene key, right? So how it expresses itself through you is what is unique, and there's different combinations of that. So yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Inner Universe Healing. Adios. Until the next one. Bye.